It is now October, it's Halloween weekend, 2 months after you saw us filming back in Atlanta, the actual production. We're well into the post-production. Mike has burned through most of our saber shots in terms of rotoscoping. We're just about getting into the thicker, more interesting visual effects, and included in that is a lot of the spark stuff. As you saw, we have a part where we're fighting under this grate area, very close quarters, and we're cutting everything up. We also have the whole fight set against the wall, and some other miscellaneous stuff where we're cutting the ground and things like that. So we're here today in this secret undisclosed location. The site of detonationfilms.com, and Bob here, very talented, knowledgeable explosives expert, and we are blowing things up. Some people go trick-or-treating on Halloween weekend, some people go to some parties. We're blowing things up. So we're setting off a lot of sparks, squibs, and things like that, and we're going to film all these elements over black to composite into these sequences to give us all the sparks and pyrotechnic effects that we're looking for.
Okay. All right.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Lights. Light.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it.
When you contacted me about the idea of having me do a few sparks, I mean, I of course never imagined that it would get so elaborate. It would take so many, but you know, it was.
We didn't either.
It was Ryan versus Dorkman. It was. I had to be part of this, you know, and it was just going to be. The same with when they did Movie Spoof 3. I mean, it's like when the guys are really committed, when they've shown a track record of getting stuff done, when I know I'm not wasting my time because they're going to do a good job and that they're really putting their heart and soul into this, I'm proud to be part of it.
Okay.
All right. Pull it back up. We'll do a show of sparks situation.
Safety first.
There you go. That's right. Yeah, we had one yesterday. This is, we've got documentary camera here for day 2. Day 1, we had some of the larger, more ambitious things that we're working on. And there are a couple of these, depending on what you put in them, that will send streaks all across this room with a big flurry of sparks coming after them. One almost hit you in the leg.
Yeah, one went right by my head too. One was like right here, which was really cool. I gotta say, I wish I'd gotten that on camera, but it was really cool, like personally. Scary, but absolutely.
So this, the hanging in the middle here, is the arrangement that we have set up for all the ones that are not against a wall. We're filming mostly like 3 main types of spark elements here. We've got the hanging, just general poof sparks come out, which is going to be a lot of for under a grate area where we're cutting up everything around us, and it's mostly falling showering sparks. And also anytime you're just looking at one without a lot of perspective on it. We also have the wall ones for the whole fight against the wall, where the camera is at very radical perspectives looking at the wall that we're hitting and cutting, so the sparks are going to be coming off of that. And we wanted to get a sense that there is a wall there that these are being emitted from. And then also stuff on the ground. For there's a part where I scrape the ground and throw sparks at Mike. And also just throughout the fight, there's always little bits where we fight and then pin and then hit the ground very briefly, which traditionally we wouldn't worry much about. But if we can do it, we'd like to have some little sparks come off of the ground and stuff, just for consistency. That would be really cool.
You want to explain this transmitter and stuff?
All right.
Yeah.
This, we're using a radio-controlled transmitter, and this is actually a professional firing box. It's called a 12Q firing box. This is telling me that this actually is the on-off switch. This is telling me that the circuit is live, but it won't fire yet. I have to flip it over to here, and that indicates it's ready to fire. And then I have a remote here, which has 12 buttons on it if we had a need to set off 12 different effects. Right now we're only doing one, so we use the top button, which is the big one. It's off at the moment. Just as we're ready to do it, I will do a countdown, and I will turn this on, and we will hit the button. Lights are on. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. I see a spot. Look at all these little smoke rings and stuff.
Oh, those are from the rocket fuel.
Yeah. Rocket.
Oh, good.
It's not rocket science, but we do have rocket fuel.
It looks like we're okay.
Let's push it across. That was good. Well, the main reason we turned it on its side for this, and I mean, we've shot some with the camera upright and some with the camera on its side. Right now, we shot the film in 720p, and we're shooting these elements in 1080i, so we have more resolution to play around with and move it around. And also, for the same reason, you know, to be able to change the framing slightly or track it into a moving shot. What we're doing is we're turning the camera on its side because it's a widescreen image. 1080, you know, 1080i is a widescreen image. So we're turning the camera on its side so that we get more resolution of the sparks falling.
Gotcha.
So they're falling horizontally across frame, but when we turn it on its side and make it fall, we've got a lot more
Vertical.
resolution for
Gotcha.
camera tracking and all that.
We're going to put that explosive remote.
Yeah.
Do we want to try putting the bursts in? Not this one, but any higher so that we can get even farther falls?
Perfectly easy for me.
Yeah.
2,
Yeah.
1.
Just gotta get them around.
They're smoky.
There.
That's cool.
Right.
Just there's so much difference. So I
Didn't
didn't
even reflection watch. There he is.
Oh.
One frame.
Wow. I so didn't see these on the yesterday's stuff. It's bizarre.
So this one's good.
Great.
It's exactly what we want.
Three, 2, 1.
Yeah, that was perfect.
That's cool. There are even a couple that actually bounce off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be nice.
Okay.
Do you want to get any other? Oh, we need to talk to him about it. For lighting.
Nice.
You gotta love that shit.
Okay.
And 5.
Okay, go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cool.
So we have here, we're going to be setting off some charcoal action, and we've got a bottle cap here, which is going to block it so that hopefully it'll sort of come out the side and fizzle and sizzle and all that good stuff. This is for a stab into the wall where we want to get some hot sort of wall is getting burned and melted kind of action. So we're going to be setting that up, and just in the off chance that this happens to pop off or anything like that, I've got the Mattis plexiglass here to put in front of the camera lens to protect it just in case for these close-up things, because we're finding that actually getting in near to these things, now that they're getting a little more predictable, we're finding out exactly how far these things are generally going. We can get in at a more appropriate angle to what will match our footage. So closer is good, but let's be safe about this.
So these are just stars made with charcoal, and they'll make, this will just make a little bit of the same sparks that you would get from a campfire, just a lot more of them in one place.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1. And this is black stars. Just a little bit of black powder to get it lit.
The man is a chef.
A little bit of this, not too much, because we don't. This stuff burns kind of bright, and we don't want it to get too bright, because this is charcoal, and the camera is set for a different exposure. So wire. Lash down the edges. And done. Sorry.
There you go.
What? That was a good one.
Yeah?
That was really good. Sweet. I shot that. Ooh, a box thing too.
So this is the idea with the ladder, which is we've got the shot looking down.
Right.
And he goes, chunk, 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 chunk. That's the ball. And there's the shot stuff. But a lot of the stuff we've been shooting, like what we just did, might work well for this.
Right.
The really interesting, unique one is this one. And Mike's idea was to actually set up a proxy ladder and then set up something on them. I don't know, squibs or maybe even some of
We can use
some of the tape or something.
Yeah, we can.
And then we can retime them later. We can just set them up and then do them individually. Give a little time before each of them.
Why are you painting this black?
We're painting this black because this is going to stand in for the ladder when we're under the grate stuff. And there's a point where I chop at the ladder and it goes. So we're actually going to put some squibs on this and film it from approximately the same angle. And the black will allow us to remove the sparks, like isolate the sparks and then put them over the actual ladder in the footage. So it will look like I actually cut into the ladder.
Official milling tool. Let's give this a shot.
I feel like we can have I think I'll hold the plexiglass up there.
Where?
I think it has the potential to go up.
Let's try this lighting the top one and see if it does go down.
Every other one.
Yeah, that's all right. So,
Can we do something with material with less smoke?
yeah, actually, we could just do the titanium maybe.
Okay.
Without anything else. Ready? Go. Expose there. Buttload of igniters. Excellent. Great.
I should have rendered out our latest work in progress on all the damage here.
Oh yeah. Well, let's do that tonight.
But this has sparks, right?
This has a few sparks, yeah.
That was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
Excellent. Oh man, that's cool.
It's cool, and it's because I'm doing that for like all of them and
Yeah.
stuff. And even when we slap it, it leaves like a scorch mark. So there's just
It's gonna be a mess.
yeah, it's great. Damage everywhere.
I'm going to try a different mix today. This is actually some copper oxide thermite.
Ooh.
How will that look?
Well, it may not be as bright, for one thing, and it's not quite as fast as what we were using before, but I'm not sure how it works, how well it works in small amounts, so that's why
Just test it out.
Yeah.
Cool.
If we need to use the other stuff, I'll just make that. But this is actually a little, I'm actually finding I prefer this for a lot of reasons. The thing is that I always end up having to readjust everything because most guys who make fireworks, everybody I deal with in the pyro community makes, shells that you can launch up in the air.
Right.
And shells have to be really symmetrical. The patterns, they work really hard to get them really pretty. And they also try and make them really loud. And the difference for me is that I want this is copper oxide thermite. It creates a mist of vaporized copper afterwards.
Don't breathe.
So I have to take what they tell me and sort of turn it inside out. I want it quiet and I want it sloppy looking. A real explosion doesn't have perfectly formed arcs of I need stuff that spirals.
Right.
So I use the same formulas, but I bust them up into different sizes chunks. I try and do it so that it's quieter, and my general philosophy is if it makes noise, I did it wrong. So, because the sound effects you can add in post, there's no point in really making a huge bang, and it sure as hell is easier on dogs and neighbors. So. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I think we're more to the left and a little closer to it. Yeah. You see more of this. No, I think you were right the first time. So more here, but back to the foot. Yeah. Let's hit the move.
Get some footage of that.
Well, we just did that. Well, why don't you help him do that? All right, well. Okay, ready? Well, we're going to do.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
So we can. Oh, I forgot. No.
Can we?
Go ahead. So,
Do you think we can make one a little less punchy?
a little fewer sparks.
Well, I guess the big white boom is what's actually in it, right?
Yeah.
So I can't do anything about that.
Okay. Well, the sparks were good. I like the sparks.
Okay.
If anything, more sparks.
I'll do that.
A little more. All right, try that.
I mean, it's so weird to be dealing with people when you're like, you do a great explosion, like bam, and the sparks are everywhere, and it's like, yeah, and they're going like, can it be a little bit smaller? And then you do a little one, poo, and they're going like, well, that was 8 sparks. I think we need about 6. And so it gets down to the point. And I always specialized in miniature pyrotechnics, but I never realized I'd have to go down to nano. It's literally counting grains of titanium sponge into the squibs. But it's because you guys knew what you want. And when they know what they want, that's what I will deliver.
Let's. Okay. Lock it.
Yeah. Sorry. This part's always good.
Ooh, that one smells cool.
Man, that's when we cut the ladder, we should just do the same thing with like a heavy spark mixture, and just put it on one side and then the far side and not the close side, because it just goes out from whatever surface it's on. It'll be like, it'll be exactly how we want it cut that way. It'll be good.
Another one?
Yes, it is. We just need to make sure it's on. It only needs to be. I mean, we really don't even need it on that side right
In
now.
fact, it's probably a problem. On that side.
We only need about, from here to here.
How long is that?
I'll put that in
Okay.
Join me and end this destructive conflict. Anytime you wear gloves, you immediately want to be Darth Vader. Because you so rarely wear gloves that are like.
And capes. Capes are cool.
Capes too. Okay, what's
The capes don't make me feel like Darth Vader.
a vampire?
A vampire or a magician.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's gonna be good.
You got some bad.
Yeah, you can see it.
Ooh. Oh yeah, that's nice right there. That's perfect.
You can see it.
Beautiful. Great. Hello.
Yeah, you're right.
Look at my edge.
What is it that's being cut?
But this.
Another pipe?
It's the edge of the ladder.
Oh, okay.
So why don't?
You want to paint it black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll throw the blanket. Yeah. Got his thing there. Figure it out.
We could hook it that fan pointing directly at it.
Maybe. I'm not sure how strong it is. I mean, this might be more effective actually. Good
Yeah.
It's still big enough.
Yeah.
What just happened? Oh my god.
I don't even know if I got that or not.
Huh? You got yourself? Only a little bit. It's okay.
Do you have any, like, well, he's allergic to Neosporin. Do you have any bandages or something?
It's definitely something we should keep around.
So what's the worst, he's asking, what's the worst thing that's, the worst accident you've had?
Yeah, you don't have.
I did have the rocket booster on the go-kart that my son was in. It exploded, and he was completely enveloped in fire.
Wow.
I went running. I have a whole thing on film. We had
Oh,
four,
good. I'm like,
Wow,
you got it
that
on
is
tape.
four cameras running. He can't get out of the go-kart. He's on fire. He's screaming.
Wow.
And I ran in there and I grabbed him. I left huge welts on him and yanked him out because we had a guy with a hose and hosed him down. And both of us are walking through this fire. I had made these special sugar rockets that we were using for the boosters. Unfortunately, they only burn at about the temperature of alcohol. And they had a lot of spark stuff in them, so it looks spectacular. But he got a burn about the size of my hand on the back, right in the small of his back, below his neck. And then, after we hosed him down and everything, he actually got back in the car and did the shot without the flame, just so he could get
That's
the
so
shot.
cool.
I laid the flame in afterwards.
Cool.
But he had to lean forward a little bit because he was burned and he's a wuss, but we actually got the shot. And then the funny thing is
That's
we
great.
took him, we're members of the motion picture, my wife works for Disney, so we're covered under motion pictures, so we take
wow,
him to motion
good.
picture hospital. And the nurse first asked, how did it happen? And I said, well, we were doing a film and one of the effects went bad. And she's like, oh my God, you need all the work, they have all these forms, because of course it's like, she's thinking it's a real film. And I'm going, no,
Who do you sue?
Yeah, exactly. But what ended up, so I knew not to say that when the doctor came in and goes, oh my, how'd this happen? And I said, we put a rocket booster on his go-kart and it exploded. And he goes, okay.
There you go.
That's great.
I've heard worse.
Yeah. So that was the scariest thing. And that was when we went and bought no mix from then on, I just had a policy of no flames for the kids. You know, anytime we even did a pre-mortal fireball, we had I bought Nomex underwear for everybody. We bought the stun gel that you smear
That's
on,
great, yeah.
and so you know, it was a wake-up call for me. It's like you've got to be safe if you're playing with this stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of been insistent upon it.
Amazing.
Speaking of playing safe, I apparently can't. Yes.
Wow, if you're going to use a pane of glass for a fan.
Yeah.
Because it broke this way, so it's like, you know, something broke.
I think you probably nicked it. Got too close and the edge hit it.
Yeah, yeah, it could have been. I hit the board too.
Part with the fuse is where the sparks are heavy.
Okay, perfect. Somewhere between center and up there.
I raised it a little bit, but
Yeah. All right. Well, it's centered. Just you know, if this is centered, then like one thing up, basically.
where you put it the first time it was actually pretty good.
There.
Okie dokie.
There. Get about it.
Control box is basically a wall thing, I think. But although it's going to be good with the sticky match, we'll be able to do it.
Yeah. You can do it on the edge, on like the edge of that limb thing.
Yeah, yeah. For me, the idea with the motion, what's motivating it is following up the sparks.
Yeah.
So it's going with sparks. So we're going to have sparks here that we follow all the way down, essentially. I think, though, if we just film it live, it should be fine. Film it, you know, so you can see these,
Yeah.
and then just add a slight distortion. And,
Well, how much is the? Let's review that shot real quick. Sure. How much damage you move? What's that doing? Good? It's good. It's great. Great idea. Fantastic.
yeah, it's just a lot more floor than we need, but that's okay.
Yeah, that was good. A little like less, I think, maybe. Okay. But yeah, the behavior is great. Woo! Yeah. Nice. Yeah, we should cover that.
What? Why? It would look like that.
I don't think our
Ooh. Hey,
that's pretty good.
that was great.
Yeah. Box. I'm going to be standing in for our control panel. The angle may be something like this, as it is cut.
So right now we're trying to. We did a lot of shots where we're cutting stuff up while we're underneath like the grades and stuff, and we decided. At the time, we had already decided that we were going to do the sparks and stuff digitally, but we've found that we're able to do it practically. So what we're doing now, what we've done on some of the other stuff, like you will have seen with the ladder and stuff like that, is we're trying as best we can to match the actual shot that we did in camera on the location with a bunch of black proxy shapes and stuff so that we can get the proper shape of the explosion
the proper shape and scale, and then we can just layer that in over our existing footage, and hopefully it'll all work perfectly.
Ready?
Rolling. Rolling.
And you're ready? Okay.
Rolling.
Oh man.
One more time.
Uno más.
Got some there finally.
Did you get that?
This is probably going to be the definitive saber battle. I mean, what is really cool about it, is that, you know, the first one was cool, but now you guys are bigger, you're stronger, you fight better, and what you've really done is taken two guys with lightsabers and you've really turned it into what it should have been, even in the films. I mean, it's like, I'm sorry, but you know, even the Darth Maul fight isn't this good. I mean, this is two big, strong dudes with deadly weapons who are trying to kill each other. And these weapons are so awesome that they cut through anything. And you see that. And they are out for blood. And it's like there's just chunks and bits and sparks flying and, you know, things being hacked up. And these are deadly weapons. And these are guys trying to kill each other. And this is a saber battle.